Hey everyone, welcome to Collie Country. Today I'm going to do a bit of a garden tour, show you what's going on in the gardens. It's been about a month, so I figured it was time for an update. Some things are growing really well, other things are struggling. I'm not really 100% sure why, but it is our first year up here and I haven't done a lot to these gardens to prep them, so that's probably why. Anyway, I thought I'd show you what we've got going on. So, ignore the mess, I need to clean that up. So up this end of the garden, we've got cucumbers. I thinned them out as I planted 2 seeds in each hole, so I've thinned those out. They're not growing too bad considering it's winter. It does get a bit cool at night up here, so last night was around 10 degrees Celsius that it got down to. So I'm not surprised that they're not growing as well as some of the other things I've got going on, but I'm still really happy with them because I love cucumbers. And in front of the cucumbers we've got beans, bush beans. So lots of them grew, like they all sprouted and they got decent size, and then they've just started really struggling. And I don't know if it's bugs eating them or what, but we'll still have plenty. I've got heaps of beans planted, so we'll get plenty of beans. I'm not concerned. Hello, Gracie girls. It's a little update on Gracie. She's doing great. She's still a bit sore on one side. One of her legs, oh, Gracie. She still limps a little bit, but as you can see, she's fine. She's doing great. Alright, so coming further down this bed, more beans. We've got cabbages, and I feel the cabbages are copying the same fate as the beans. So they started growing, and then some of them are just struggling. And if you can see, I don't know if you can see it, but bugs seem to be eating a lot of my plants right at the stems. So I'm not real sure what's going on there. Something to look into. And then I planted some beans. I planted, oh bloody dogs, someone's come and had a dig. So I planted heaps of seeds here and here, and I planted cauliflower and kale, and I have no idea which one's which. And as you can see, heaps have come up in this one and nothing's come up on that side. So I'm thinking this is probably the kale, but I can't remember. We'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully the kale. More red cabbage. Some of it's doing great, but then these ones at the front are just half dead. Same with my beans here. As you can see, like it grew to a good size and now it's just died, and you can feel that something's eaten it. Anyway, snow peas growing amazing at the back here. I did grow 2 different varieties of snow peas. One was like a Yukon Giant, and I think this is the ones at the back here. And then I can't remember the seeds I had up here, but we'll see which one grows better and I'll keep the seeds from whichever one grows better. More dying beans. Hey, Cricky. Pretty girls. Garden pups. Love coming down to the garden with me. Here, some more seeds I put in. Here, this is perpetual spinach, which if you live in a warmer climate or a hot climate, I found these do really well for greens. They don't tend to bolt quickly, and I've had them grow all summer and be just fine. Just, cut and come again. They'll just keep growing, and they're a really great substitute for spinach or any greens and stir fries and cooking. I like them. In my patch here, I planted a heap of corn seeds, and so far it's been about a week, and I've got one baby corn. So hopefully, even though it's been a bit cooler, they should still come up. Fingers crossed. Because last time I tried to grow corn was up here during the summer. It just got decimated by the bugs, the grasshoppers in particular. Okay, some beans, more beans, lots of beans. But these ones are actually starting to flower, so we can hope that these ones actually make it. I think I'm going to keep a heap of seed off this one, because this is the one that grew the best so far. We'll see. And then shelling peas at the back there. They're having a bit of a slower start in the snow peas, but that's fine. It's probably a bit too warm for them, but I thought I'd give it a go. Alright, other side of the garden, some pineapple plants back here, which are looking much better now. I've actually started watering them with the rest of the veggies. Flowers, got zinnias, more zinnias. I have no idea what any of these are. I was hoping this one at the front would be a alyssum, but I don't think it is. We'll see. That looks like cornflowers to me, and I have no idea what that is. And then we've got dahlias. Got to have the prettiness, bring in the pollinators. Now we've got tomatoes all up this row. Most of them are Amish paste except for these ones at the end, which are growing really well. They're putting on great trusses of tomatoes, so I'm really happy with how it's going out here actually. As you can see, and then the Amish paste start. They've grown really well considering I did nothing to this soil at all. I should have taken the time to do it, but I didn't, because that's what we do. And I've also planted some marigolds around, and I threw some basil seeds around too, so we'll see if anything comes up. Crazy dogs. Ooh. Kelly pup, you're so handsome. You're so handsome. You're such a good dog. Yes, you are. All right, coming in to the greenhouse now, which is amazing, and I'm so happy with it, how well it's grown and how well these tomatoes are growing. But outside, these two gardens on the outside, bugs come through, and I'd planted this full of onions and the bugs just destroyed them in the matter of like a week. So I'll have to try something new with onions. Sweet potatoes have come back up in here, so I'm just going to let them go. But in the greenhouse, these tomatoes are just amazing. So you can see they're huge. I've trimmed all the leaves off the bottom parts of the plants to help with aeration, because even though it's winter, it's still quite humid. And we've got lots of tomatoes. Amazing. So in front of the tomatoes, I have other things growing because, you know, you need to use the space you've got. But back here I've just got lettuce leaves. They're definitely ready to be starting to harvest. We just cut them and they'll grow back. So there's only two of us, we don't need a lot. In front of that, I've got this beetroot that's looking great. Starting to bulb up a little. Can make some beetroot relish out of it. Behind that I have planted some more beetroot and the seeds have come up, which is great. I've actually had pretty good germination with this. I'm pretty happy with it. More tomatoes. This plant is my star. Cannot remember what it's called. I'll have to look back at another video, but if you can see from the stem, it's come up, we've come all the way out, and we've gone all the way back again. So this is what I'm using to try and save space, tying them back and forth as they grow, but I think they're still going to outgrow me for sure. Plenty of tomatoes on this one too. It's growing really well. Now this patch is where that dang plant was. Last weekend I ripped it out. I harvested, I don't know, I should probably weigh it. I reckon about 2 kilos of roots that are currently drying. So really happy with the amount we got out of it, considering I didn't even plant it. It was here when we got here. But in that space I planted a heap of carrot seeds. I haven't been as consistent with the watering as I probably should have, but I'm still hoping that they come up. It's only been about a week, so we'll see how they go. More tomatoes. They're just everywhere, looking so healthy and amazing. And then in the front of this row we have some of the Easter egg radishes. Trying to see if I can find something that looks decent. You can see them when you cut these open, they have like rings of different colour. It's very cool. This is by far my favourite place on the property at the moment. I just can't believe how well my tomatoes have grown, especially considering it's the middle of winter. Where I lived prior, it was definitely a lot colder during winter. Still not cold, but a lot colder than this. And I've never had tomatoes grow like this, because when you try and grow them in our disgusting humid summers, even where I used to live, it was just too much for them. Their blossoms would drop off because it was too hot, and they would wilt and they would disease because it was wet and hot and humid the whole time. So I'm ecstatic with just how much tomatoes I'm going to end up just out of this small greenhouse. It's awesome. Papa still follow me around. Hey, you're my 2 garden pups, aren't you? Gilly and Cricket. These are my doggos for sure. Border Collies pick their people. Cricket and Gilly are definitely mine. Hey, Gilly pup. It's a good boy. Come on, let's go. Let's go see the other garden. Come on, this way. All right, bring you around through to the other greenhouse now. This greenhouse not doing so well. With the greenhouse with the tomatoes in it, I buried heaps of fish carcasses in there, so I think that's why it's done so well, especially compared to every other garden I've got. But this garden is struggling a lot. So we've got our cherry tomatoes, which look like rubbish. This one in particular, I think I just need to pull it out. In the front of this, we've got carrots growing well, really happy with those. All the way down. And I've planted some pak choi, which is mostly doing well. Getting smashed by something, but I think we might be able to outgrow it, is my hope, and at least we get some of it. Had a few more tomato plants in here, but they all got chewed apart. This one, for whatever reason, seems to be doing quite well. I need to tie him up. Here, in this patch next to the pak choi, I've planted a heap of lettuce seeds. And once again, because I was at work all week, it did get watered once or twice, but I don't think it was enough. But we'll keep at it. I put a whole packet of lettuce seeds in here, so hopefully they start coming up soon. Some sort of flowers germinating that I can't remember what I planted. Typical of me. Over in all these bare patches, I've planted a heap of broccoli seeds. They haven't come up at all either. More cucumber seeds I planted back there. They haven't come up. These few plants that I've actually survived in here are cauliflower. 2 plants out of the 10 that I originally planted survived. And our herbs are doing quite well. This is our parsley. I'm surprised it hasn't gone to seed, actually. It's been in here since the summer, so and it's looking amazing. So my plan with this greenhouse, shade house, whatever you want to call it, I think after this winter and I've grown what I can in here, I think I'm going to pull all this mulch back, bury heaps of fish carcasses that I've got in the freezer, see if I can get some organic compost, because I still haven't built a compost bin, just on my list of many things to get done. But then I think I'm going to rest this all over the summer, bury heaps of, you know, veggie scraps and everything in here, close it up so the bloody dogs can't get in and dig it all up, and then just leave this go until next winter. I think that's the plan, because in summer I can't really grow that much. It's too hot, the bug pressure is insane, so I won't really be growing too much anyway. This bed I think will get put to bed for the summer. Now, as for all the fruit trees, there's not a whole lot going on at the moment. Just trying to keep up with the weeding. They all probably need a good feed and a good water. It hasn't rained for weeks. So, and they are starting to look like they're struggling a little bit. So I think next weekend, I've got a nice 4-day weekend coming up. I'll have heaps of time to get in here, weed, feed and mulch and water all these fruit trees. It's going to be a whole day event, probably a whole weekend event, but I'll get them done. But the citrus is awesome. I've got so many mandarins. I've been giving them away at work. I've just been taking bags in for everyone I work with, and I still have so much. Check this tree out. I have picked like kilos upon kilos of mandies off this tree already, and it's still loaded. It's crazy. The other citrus is doing okay as well, just that tree is definitely done the best this year. Thanks for coming along on my garden tour with me, and we'll see you all next time. Bye.